Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media, and that's movies, video games, TV shows. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. I'm Mo De Pupe, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. LADI, what's going on, man?
And nothing much, man. Just been ultra busy the last few weeks. Hopefully, I can finally watch a movie again. I've not been able to do almost anything.
Yeah, you have been you've been one of those nerds, those shameful nerds that don't drop everything and go run out and watch whatever the new things are. What have you been up to though? If since you couldn't make it to the movies, what have you been doing nerdy besides that?
I've been, of course, watching Vinland Saga. It's getting extremely good. Um, Besides that, nothing really. Just been watching certain things on YouTube. Just trying to, do some more animations. Um, Really, besides that, besides Vinland Saga, that's really the only thing like I have been actually watching that is, considered nerdy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I finally got around to seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie. Uh, that was cool. It was a good time. Um, I think it was good. Not I don't want to even call it great, but I think it's a pretty great kids movie though. Like,
Yeah.
do you like I put it on the level of like, will kids like go in for it like Sonic or Detective Pikachu, that level of kids movie. So I think it's a success, and of course it's kicking ass at the box office. And but still haven't gotten to see Dungeons and Dragons yet. That's
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I've been watching anime. I can't believe it. I actually watched some anime this week. A new show that's airing. It's on Hulu right now. I think it's called Tengoku Daimakyo, and it's some weird surprise, some weird post-apocalyptic sci-fi shit from Japan. We've never seen that before, but it's pretty cool so far. So, but anyway, this is the Supercast. We're supposed to be talking about superhero stuff, so let's dive into that. This week we got a ton of news, plenty of things to talk about. Like we're gonna talk about Superman Legacy. Got a bit of an update in the last couple of days. Got a couple of trash takes. Fans having some things to say about what James Gunn is up to as the co-CEO of DC Studios. We got some casting news for Creature Commandos and for Blade and for Deadpool 3. There's a new teaser, a little bit of a teaser trailer of sorts for the upcoming Penguin TV show coming from HBO Max, or I guess Max now. We're going to update you guys on Jonathan Majors. Some more bad news, unfortunately, for him. There's a pending. Well, there's a potential strike going on with the Writers Guild. What that could mean for all the superhero properties that are upcoming, and then we're going to talk about the Marvels trailer and how it has become the most disliked Marvel trailer of all time. And what does that mean? What's the source of all of this? So, Lottie, we got plenty to get through. You ready, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's dive in here. Well, this is this is some quick stuff, real in here. We got a very awesome news. I think it was today or yesterday. I think it was today, and it's official. Superman Legacy is in pre-production. So the very first DC Studios property is there. It's underway. They're putting real money into it besides just writing stuff down, and they're gonna, as James Gunn said in his tweet about it, they're starting costume design, set design, all that stuff, casting, everything is underway. So Lottie, oh happy day. Superman fans everywhere should be delighting in this, especially because today is the I think they said the 85th anniversary of the debut of Superman. So, what an auspicious day if you're a fan of Superman. What do you think, man? It's getting started.
Yeah, it's about time, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to finally get a Superman movie. I mean, it's going to be 2 years from now, but I'm happy that we're finally going to start getting some Superman stuff in the future. And James Gunn is taking this seriously because listen, DC has to have its I mean, it's flag bearer. When I think of DC, I know there's something, there's some, Batman fanboys out there, which I am one of them, by the way.
Hmm.
But I don't let it get in my way because I also love Superman equally, or probably around the same. It switches, but Superman is the face of DC, and he has to be the face. Batman fans, y'all been eating it good enough. Just chill. For once, just chill. Y'all at
Right.
least get a decent movie every 3 or 4 years. You could chill out. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree, and I can't wait. Like, it's not just because I'm a big fan of James Gunn. It's not, that's not that. I legitimately am a really big fan of Superman, and I just want to see him done justice, and not just to have justice done to the character and the story, but in a way that connects with a wide audience. Because the original Superman movies are, at least for a certain generation, are very beloved. There's a huge amount of, like, you know, positive sentiment, nostalgic or not, for the Christopher Reeve's version of Superman. So I would love for that to be happening with this upcoming movie, and I trust James Gunn in that. Um, and it just kind of related to this. Someone was, he showed a picture of the script, the Superman Legacy script, and I just thought it was funny. People were asking him about, taking notes, who's giving him notes on and everything. And this is really just to give you an understanding of why I'm so high on this, why I'm so confident in this. As he explained, yes, he's the head of the studio. Theoretically, he wouldn't have to take anyone's notes. But I'll tell you what, beware any writer that won't ask other people to look at what they're doing and give them some opinions about it, especially other writers. Beware those people that won't take notes. And he's literally saying, "Oh, I passed it on to, one of our producers. I passed it on to Tom King, who's a writer. He's a comic book writer and also what part of the brain trust over at DC Studios right now. He's giving it to other people who he knows have story writing credentials, and saying, "What do you think?" And that he says that's what he does with all his scripts. So, I mean, LADI, he's not saying, "Hey, I'm the only one that knows what's up." I'm getting other people to tell me where this is strong and where it's weak, and I'm going to work accordingly. That's his notes taking. So, I mean, I don't know. That makes me feel confident. I don't know about how do you feel about it?
I'm confident. Listen. Some people, I was listening to one guy talk about a video talking about why should we be so excited for James Gunn and everything. Like, his thing has been batting on, like, some people say, well, he's been batting on average, and I'm like, well, the last few things that he's been doing actually have been pretty good. Like, his Peacemaker was really good. His last few Guardians of the Galaxy stuff has been good, and I really liked his Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confident in his story of Superman. I just hope he doesn't put me through the house of pain in the first movie. That's all I hope.
Right. Yeah,
It's
this.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He's gonna do it
Well,
eventually.
all that matters is, can he get the tone right? That's what I care about the most. Can he get Superman's tone right? And it's not Superman's tone is not gray. It's not any of that bullshit. You know, there are moral quandaries, but there's never a question about where he stands. It's like I feel like the same way that Captain America. The Chris Evans Captain America, he may have been in murky waters, and there may have been gray stuff going on, but there was never a question about his moral fiber. You know, we never had a question about that, and that's what I want to feel from Superman, and I believe James Gunn can accomplish it. So, but anyway, things are underway. We're excited about it. Can't wait to hear more about it. I'm hoping that production on it is ready to start later on in the year. That would be dope. So we'll let you guys know when we find out more in the future. LADI, I wanted to devote hopefully not too long, but you know, we talk about people's trash takes on there. There's a couple of them. For James Gunn, he's sort of a lightning rod right now, just because of where he is, what he's doing, and because there are certain segments of the fandom that want to see him fail because they can't just move on from what's happened before. So I figured a couple trash takes just to have fun with. One of them is a user, I guess it was on Instagram, a fan on Instagram, essentially was like, why would DC hire you when you're out there promoting, you're promoting Marvel? It's like you're not even like you're promoting for the enemy, and so you're not even going to put your real any real effort or whatever into DC because you're a Marvel you're a Marvel shill essentially. So LADI, what a fucking stupid thing to say. Like there's for a couple reasons, but before I say why I think it's stupid, what's your take on that whole sentiment?
Listen, man. Listen, I'm sure you've seen some of my tweets recently on Twitter, and man, I'm so sick and tired. Guys, we're almost 30 years old or more. We're grown men and women. Because like you say, you're older.
Yes.
Guys, let go of the fanboyisms, fangirlisms. Let it go, man. Like, it is so exhausting. I've seen, like, my Twitter for some reason is now just full of fanboys and fangirls when it comes to video games, comic books, anime, and stuff. And I literally made a tweet. I'm like, this is how y'all spend y'all time? Literally talking about something that entertains everybody. Literally, like, what? You are literally arguing over about which cinematic universe is better, which console is better. And I'm just like, guys, just stop. James Gunn made a movie for another company. It happens. Get the hell over it. Jesus Christ, man. It is so exhausting. What do you think? So you think he's just gonna make the movie and say, peace, I hope it rots? Like, what the? Like,
what's funny is that's literally what he said. He's like, why would DC want to hire somebody who would spend 2 years making something and then just abandon it like a bad habit? That's
just Jesus.
It's dumb. Like, it's stupid in many ways, but one of the main ways is he is contractually obligated to promote the movie. Like, y'all think they hired him to direct, and they're like, all right, you work for DC, get the hell out of ours. No, yes. He's one of the faces of the movie. He is going to go on a promotion tour. He's the director. People are going to be asking him all sorts of questions about the movie. That's like, learn something about the world, first of all. Second of all, this Marvel versus DC shit is dead, has been dead for years. Not even years. I'd say literally Marvel versus DC has been dead for at least 15 years. And since the cinematic universes have come into play, it's been extra dead. Because in the realm of superhero stuff, movies and TV shows, good superhero movies and TV shows mean people want more of that shit, which means there's a market, which means it's good for both companies, Disney and Warner Brothers, so that each of them put out good shit. Right now we're in the midst of like a bit of a downturn because each company has sort of been, making good but not great, or occasionally great but mostly just good stuff. And people like, well, maybe superhero stuff is over, but nobody was talking about that. In the midst of Marvel kicking ass, DC was also, they had some hits too. It's just, as you said, get the fuck over that. That Marvel versus, it is not a competition in that sense. If if the Marvels makes $1 billion and then Aquaman makes $1 billion, it's all good for everybody. Just, shit, God. Trash take, like, get the fuck over that stuff. So not one trash take's not enough, LADI. We got to do another one. Here's the other one. Someone was like, "So you play favorites with actors?" And to which he said, to which James Gunn was like, "Well, yeah, because I know that I can work with them. They know that they can work with me. They understand my process. I understand their process. It's just easier. That's how this job works." LADI, should we make a big deal out of the fact that directors find certain actors they like working with and then keep putting them in their shit?
This is the dumbest take. It's like me. It's like me asking my brother to be my best man. He is. I've been working for him. I've been working with him for all these years, and I'm comfortable. I believe he's the best man. That is nepotism. Everybody should have the chance to be your best man. I mean, come on, guys. Of course, that's just how it works. People are going to hire who they are comfortable with and who they believe will that will do a good job. That's how it works. And then the whole thing about James Gunn and his wife, I'm like, guys, if you think this is the only time this has happened in the history of Hollywood, you're a freaking idiot.
Well, I would also like to point out that Jennifer Holland is actually great, and I've loved every time she's shown up in a DC thing. It's been great. So like, get the hell on with that. Like,
I mean, it's like Angelina Jolie with her dad. I mean,
it's but they're getting at, like, oh, you just have these certain, like Nathan Fillion, always shows up in the James Gunn thing. Michael Rooker, Sean Gunn. Like, there's certain people they keep showing up. To which I say, who gives a damn? Like, so other actors aren't necessarily going to get a shot at it because he's already decided, like, hey, I got another role for you. It would be great. What do you think? And then he just casts him and moves on. Sure, it's not an open casting. To my understanding, no movie or TV show ever has to have open casting.
As anybody ever, as these dudes have never watched the Adam Sandler movie.
Basically,
Adam Sandler,
yes.
Every movie he has ever made has 3 actors. Like, what is his name? Kevin Spade. Kevin Spade is in almost every single Adam Sandler movie.
And I have no problem. In fact, I'd be like, hey, he showed up. Doesn't
Exactly.
bother me. It doesn't bother me.
It's just that's how it works, man. I mean, I can name so many actors. Remember what's his name had a hard on for I mean, I know he did it, but that was the joke. Christian Bale and I'm not Christian Bale. What's the dude? The dude who made Transformers, the director of Transformers.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay and what's that woman's name?
What's her name from Jennifer's Body? Whatever, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if he's directing the movie, she's gonna be in it.
But it's more. There's other directors that do that too. They work well together. It's fine. Like this whole what do y'all? I guess I want to say maybe that it's just a lack of understanding of Hollywood. Yes, it sucks sometimes because maybe it ices some people out. But here's the thing: is James Gunn isn't saying I'm only going to work with these people. He says, "Hey, I will preferentially work with these people because they know me, I know them. I know we can get the best out of each other." But also notice that he widens his radius, right? You know how I say that? You remember? There's I don't know if you ever saw the second Borat movie, but Maria Bakalova, who was really good in that movie, by the way. You know what he did? He cast her as Cosmo, the voice of Cosmo in Guardians 3, right? Oh, look at this.
Hmm.
We're going to talk about this late in a minute. But he's caster in in a DC thing. So because they've worked together, hey, we work well together. It's not like he's just saying I won't ever work with other people. He did that with the guy that's gonna he was Mern, and now he's gonna be the High Evolutionary, right? To my knowledge, they had never worked together before Peacemaker. Now they work together on the Guardians 3. His Chikwudi Iwuji, right?
I loved his Mern, by the way. His Mern was
So
hilarious.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, this happens. It's just dumb. Like, chill. Like, look, if we want the best movie possible, and if this is the way we go, that's the way we go. I'm sorry if some other actors aren't going to get a chance. 20, 30, 40 actors aren't going to get the chance to audition for every single role. I'm sorry that that's the case, but if we get our the best thing possible out of it, cool. And it's not clear to me that James Gunn is like necessarily, excluding people from the process. So anyway, fans, we, what do I say, Lottie? While we're on a fan cast right now, don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we want. We are not the people to be asking about how to make anything. So just fucking ignore us. But listen to us after after the movie comes out. Sure, listen to what we have to say about it, but not before.
If you're gonna listen to fans, listen to reasonable fans. Just don't listen.
No,
Make
I
sure
say
you
don't even listen to reasonable fans. If fans were any good at making any movies or TV show, we will be in Hollywood making movies or TV shows. All we're good for is after something comes out, saying whether or not we like it. That's it. I'm telling you, we are as a rule, if we are ever right about something before something comes out, it's pretty accidental. For the most part, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We just know what we like or what we don't like. And we won't know that until the shit's done. So, I mean, ignore us. I say that as we're on a podcast talking about things before they come out. So anyway, we got some casting news, Lottie. Very exciting things going on here. Creature Commandos, the full voice cast, and I'm presuming in front of the camera cast at some point too, because they have been, James Gunn did say eventually they would come into live action. But the voice cast of Creature Commandos has been revealed. And it's got some pretty good names on it, actually. Well, first of all, Sean Gunn, we should have known that immediately because Weasel's in it. But he's also going to be the voice of G.I. Robot, which I think is some kind of android soldier or something. We got Frank Grillo, who as Crossbones from the MCU, but he's going to be Rick Flag Sr., Maria Bakalova, as I just mentioned, playing an original character, Princess Ilana Rostovich, then Indira Varma, and I wish I knew her off the top of my head, but she's the bride, I guess the bride of Frankenstein or something. David Harbour is going to be Eric Frankenstein, and then Zoe Chow as Nina Mazursky, don't know who that is, and Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. Lottie, there's some pretty big names. And obviously Amanda Waller, Viola Davis. Pretty big. Oh, and I forgot. Steve Agee is John Economos. Diebeard is back. So, all right. We got a full voice cast, right? What do you think, Lottie, of these names?
of all the names that I heard, I can't get over Dr. Phosphorus. You talk about 1970s/80s comic books, you can't get any more. Dr. Phosphorus.
He's apparently pretty badass, though.
No, no,
Apparently.
no. I'm not laughing. It's just the name. It's just freaking funny. But listen, I'm just happy my boy Economos is returning. And we all know that man is gonna come in the clutch multiple times in this show. There's gonna be a time when everybody doesn't respect him, think he's not doing anything, and then he's gonna come in the clutch, just out of nowhere, like Economos always does.
I
Economos.
just can't wait to hear him. He says "fuck" in the best. He's like one of the best. He says it better than like most anyone you ever hear. There's very few people that say "fuck" better than Steve Agee. Like it's he's an artist with that word. It's crazy. I was when I saw this list, I was really happy to see David Harbour. I love David Harbour. Dude is that or AKA Red Guardian. So he's literally going to be in DC and the MCU if they bring his character back. Which actually he actually is coming back, because remember he's coming back for what the hell is it? What the hell is the name? Why can't I call the name right now? As soon as I want to see with Black Widow and all Thunderbolts. There we go. He's come back for Thunderbolts. So that's pretty dope. As you know, with that, Alan Tudyk, I usually like anything. He does good voices anyway, but I always like him. I've liked him since Firefly, and he's been plenty of cool stuff. Maria Bakalova, as I mentioned before, the voice of Cosmo. Now she's the voice of I don't know who this Ilana Rostovich is, but cool. And Frank Grillo, I mean, could not be more perfect casting. Like I said, he was Crossbones in the MCU. He's got a really great voice, and also he's he is of an age where he looks great for his, but he's damn near 60, and he looks great for his age and everything. Keeps himself in, and he does stunts and shit. So seeing him in live action should be pretty dope. And of course, Sean Gunn. Sean Gunn again. He's probably just going to be doing motion capture whenever they do live action. But he's got Weasel and GI Robot, so pretty cool. That's a good little cast, and I really want to see them in live action now that I see who all these people are. So I think that's cool. It just means that as they're definitely going to be like rolling. Hopefully by the end of the year, getting this really underway, because I want to see this very, very soon. Hopefully by next year it'll be cool. So anyway, when we find out more news about this, we'll let you guys know. More casting news for the MCU now, and that is that thank God they made it happen. They got Morena Baccarin and Stefan. I think I'm saying this right. Kapicic. Who respectively played Vanessa and Colossus. So we're definitely getting the crew is getting back together for Deadpool 3. Lottie, how do you feel about this?
Man, I listen. We all know how excited this Deadpool. This shouldn't even be even a discussion. We all know if Deadpool 3 just anything Deadpool 3 is just speaks for itself. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to see that um the MCU is bringing back the characters from the Fox movie, instead of just being like, "Hey, we'll hire our own people and just bring back these people." I'm happy to see that they're continuing with the continuity. I, I just can't wait. I can't wait.
I,
I
mhm.
what were you about to say?
Now I was just gonna say there's one or two characters are missing from this return that I'm just like, man, come on, don't play. Y'all don't sit there and play with. Actually, there's three, but one of them doesn't have to come back. One of them is Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Damn it, why have y'all not confirmed her? And is it Yukio, her girlfriend? Like, I don't understand why we don't see them yet. Damn it, I Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She's so fucking awesome. Just like, she's at, you know what she is? She's the Zoomer that's just like over, the Gen Xers bullshit. She's her whole thing is just like this Wade, you're embarrassing and annoying, but actually I guess you're kind of cool too. And then Yukio is she's so hilarious, and just every time she's just always happy to see Wade. She's like, "Hi Wade." Yeah, I love that. I need more of that in Deadpool 3, and it pains me not to see their names also on the list of returning. I guess you could do Fire Fist also, but like it's not. He was pretty cool in Deadpool too. So it would be nice if he came back, but I definitely need Negasonic Teenage Warrior to make a return. So I need more of that sarcasm. Damn it. Anyway, so that's good news there for Deadpool 3. We also have some news for Blade. Now, I know we haven't gotten a lot of great news about Blade. They're retooling and all of that, but at the very least, they said we got a new person joining, and that person is going to be Mia Goth, which I will ask you, Lottie, do you know who this is?
No.
So, if you've watched horror movies recently, she played in a movie called Pearl, which is a prequel to a horror movie, slasher movie called X, which you have Paramount Plus, so you should be able to go watch this. It's basically X is about, in the 70s, this group of people go to secretly film a porno on this farm out in Texas, and then they proceed to get stabbed up by this old woman. And then Pearl is the prequel about that old woman as a young lady, a sexually repressed young lady in like the 30s or 40s, something like that. Or so she is sort of, I guess you could call rising scream queen right now. And so it's more than likely she's going to be some kind of vampire or something like that. With that limited information, she's a scream queen. She's joining Blade. So your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. I'm happy that they're trying to make this horror like, but I still it's still, there's the rumor true that they're still looking to make this PG-13.
Oh, it's definitely going to be PG-13.
See, that's what hurts me. That just hurts. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how you make a Blade movie to PG-13, but we'll see. We'll see how they do it.
Well, maybe she'll be Team Jacob or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't even know. I barely understand that reference because I have steadfastly refused to watch the Twilight movies. But maybe it'll be Twilight-esque. The YA version of Blade. That sounds horrible. Let's not make that happen. Anyway, good casting news. Excited to hear more about Blade. We'll let you guys know when we learn more in the future. Lottie, back to DC. Man, I know you love the Batman. I love the Batman. And one aspect of the Batman we both really enjoyed was Colin Farrell's The Penguin. He was really actually pretty dope in that movie. And we learned last year, soon after or I think it was before the movie even came out, they were like, oh, we're doing a Penguin spinoff. And I was like, but what? Okay, I guess. Well, finally, it's, more than a year later, we get a teaser. This was part of HBO's, HBO Max is rebranding. Now they're going to be called Max. And part of the rebranding, they said, hey, we got a bunch of new stuff coming out. Check it out. And it was this quick, less than 2-minute teaser of the Penguin. And Lottie, man, they kind of, like, if it was first, I thought, oh, it's going to be all behind the scenes stuff or whatever. But it actually turned out to be a bit of a story, teaser towards the end. And man, the shit not only does it look great, it looks like it should be, which is a kind of an in-between story between the Batman 1 and the Batman 2. And Colin Farrell is just, he's doing his thing. So, I mean, I have more to say about the teaser, but what did you think about this?
listen. I've talked about this with so many people, and this is what I was hoping for. That DC listened, that they went with the more darker tone. You got something. You got something with the Joker. Then the Batman. You got something, DC. Don't, and I'm just happy they're leaning into it. Because, man, listen, I'm all in for this shit. I'm going to be glued to my TV watching this. I never thought I would be so into something about the Penguin, and I mean I'm into it. It brought me back to that. It feels like the '90s Batman again, of how Gotham is like they said. Someone said it best. Gotham is its own character in the movie, and I feel like they're making their own like cinematic universe, the Gotham universe. You know what I mean? The Gotham verse, and I am so it for it. Please, DC, keep leaning into this dark tone. And like I said, you could have your over the top Batman that fights with Superman throwing batarangs at Darkseid for some damn reason. You can have that happening, but keep the grounded dark Batman stories going as well. Because I really feel like this is like a weapon that DC could have. Because man, I mean, I don't know for anybody else. Maybe other people probably weren't as, but it got me. Like I am. This is my shit. Like I want to see this so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's the thing about Batman is that yeah, it could be some supernatural weirdo dressed up in costumes shit, or it could be him just like going squaring off with gangsters, straight up just squaring off with like all these gangsters and stuff like that. But what I'm excited for with this is as he said, who's going to be king of Gotham? Who's going to be under the kingpin of Gotham? That's important, you know, because there's a lot of people that if you all ever watch Batman from the movies, you think like, oh, Gotham is just people in weirdo suits doing weirdo things, but no, what's really going on? That's the window dressing. Joker and all of them are window dressing. Yeah, they're dangerous and everything, but they're window dressing. What's really going on under the surface is this struggle for power amongst many, crime families and syndicates and whatever. And this is Penguin trying to claw his way up to be one of those dudes. Because, like, again, if you just watch the movies, you don't know this. Oswald Cobblepot is not to be fucked with. You think if you don't know the comics, you don't understand. This dude is, yeah, he's got the little trick umbrellas and that little top hat and shit. He will fuck you up, right?
Yeah.
And they underscored that at the end of that teaser of him just like straight shooting someone, right? And then laughing about it afterwards. He's not to be, Oswald Cobblepot is not to be fucked with. And all these people thinking he's a fucking joke because he's called the Penguin and he waddles when he walks. Okay, keep on thinking that. If you think if people that don't understand this, they don't know why can a dude that's like that be feared by other people in the under, why does he have a gang? Why is he feared? That they're gonna show that in this one. I can't fucking wait. This shit looks awesome. Like, I might have to watch the Batman first just to get myself hyped up for it, get properly hyped for when this comes out. So I think that's later this year. So, woo, good teaser trailer, and I can't wait for a real, actual trailer for this thing. So when that comes out, y'all, we're gonna talk about it. We'll let you guys know what we think. All right, so now for some not so fun stuff. There's a couple not so fun news stories, and then we'll get to one last one. But this one's about Jonathan Majors. Just kind of an update on that. So just a recap if you've been living under a rock or whatever. A couple weeks ago, like I want to say a week or two after Creed 3 came out, Jonathan Majors got arrested for, I guess, battery or whatever with his girlfriend. I think it was in New York City. And, since then, he's kind of been arraigned and charged with, a couple of charges. I think they're felony. I want to say they're felony charges. Either way, Disney's been pretty silent about it. They've said more or less like, hey, that's a situation and we're just kind of letting it work through and, whatever. So basically, we're not going to say anything until there's something more concrete. Well, while they may not have wanted to do something, a couple other entities did want to do something, and that is his PR team, his public relations team, and his management have both dropped him. They both quit representing him. Which I don't know. It's in my mind. I don't know shit. I don't work in Hollywood, but it seems to me this is some major stuff. No pun intended, but it's kind of major, right? Because an actor of his stature, or at least his growing stature, losing his public relations and his management on the same day, this says something. This is perhaps the start of the end of Jonathan Majors' career, at least for the time, for the near future, maybe for years in the future. LADI, I mean, we know all this stuff is going on. How bad is this for him?
Listen, because there is actually, when I was driving home, I saw another article about how he's already, beginning to lose movie opportunities, dropping them. Man, listen, I hope, I don't want to say I hope everything is a lie, because I don't want to make it seem like we shouldn't believe the story that women say, but I just hope whatever comes out is the the best possible outcome, because man, this they were ready to push this guy to the top, and it's sad to see that it could just all be over like that, man. And you hate to see it. There's other rumors talking about they've already got somebody in Marvel, that Marvel's already scouting a guy that looks like Jonathan Major to replace him as Kang. It's
Yeah.
man, this is tough, man. Maybe within a month or two from now, we find out, yep, it was all a lie. None of this actually happened.
Or maybe we find out. Or maybe we find out.
If we find out he did it, yeah, it did happen,
and
then it's just we move on.
And
yes,
they're moving real quick. And I mean, we talked about this already. They're moving real quick on this. Real quick to be like, hey, you're out of here, right? And you have to wonder why so quick on this. But also you have to, I was listening to a podcast or a show today, and talking about, hey, maybe Marvel will scrap all of Loki season 2, which, to be fair, the guy who was saying this, his name is John Campy. I listen to him all the time. To be fair to him, he lives in LA, has been in doing this, punditry stuff for a long time. Talks to a lot of people, has insiders that talk to him, all this other stuff. So when he said, hey, they might just scrap it, I can't just say that that's bullshit, because he knows and a lot more experience about this stuff than I am or probably ever will be, just because proximity and all that other stuff. But that sounds unrealistic to me. Why? Because for a couple reasons. One, because we spent a fuck ton of money making this thing, right? yes, he may be a central character within the he may be a central actor within the show, but there are literally dozens of other people who are involved in the show. Not the least of which are two pretty big name actors in Tom Hiddleston and Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. Um, and there's also hundreds of people, however many hundreds of people that worked on the show, and the show is obviously super important to the multiverse saga. So scrapping Loki season 2 would not just fuck up the money situation, but also fuck up the story situation. So I don't see that being a real possibility. But yeah, you're right about all the other opportunities. Them shits are drying up because not people, some people get to coast on doing bullshit. Like Ezra Miller can do stuff on camera and still be, just float along and people are fine. And other people can just, get arrested for something and that's it. You are excommunicated. And we've talked about reasons why that could be. And there are some, there's some not so savory reasons for it. The other thing is that this is just another fucking company and Disney they're not trying to deal with all of that. But back to the point of all this, which is the management team. So LADI, literally the people who are meant to do the best to make him look good, right? Said, no, we're not, we're severing ties with you. And the team whose whole job is, hey, we're trying to get you, as many jobs as possible, whichever jobs we're going to get those, try to get those for you. They said bye too. So this is literally like the professional connections are being severed, and now he's kind of on his own, like just an actor that's still trying to just get on. LADI, I mean, I feel like this indicates something. This indicates that maybe they know something, or they're just like, nope, you're unless you can be completely exonerated like Johnny Depp, you're kind of done for a while. So I don't know. What do you think?
And like you just said, the hypocrisy does kind of upset me because how I felt about the whole Ezra Miller thing,
Mm-hmm.
and to see how this is not even like you said, it's just a charge, and you could already see Hollywood is about to excommunicate him. They're about to blacklist him, and it's just it.
That's an interesting choice of words, but
Yeah,
yes.
I use that purposely, and I understand. But it's just the the amount of like it's almost like Hollywood was protecting Ezra Miller. It wasn't. I wouldn't be as upset if it was just like this was a bunch of allegations and people moved on and everything like that. It was like literally Ezra Miller just had to give out an apology. And everybody's like, yep, there you go. You know what I mean? And it's just, ah, man, I don't want to, I don't want to, because I don't want to go completely, outrageous what I have to say. It's just, it
Well,
does infuriate me with,
you know what I say. If you feel a certain way about it, man, that's look. I mean, I'll speak. Shoot, I'll speak out on it. It's interesting to me that Ezra Miller was literally, accused of, and even I think there may be some footage, I don't know, of putting his hands on a woman, or
yeah,
I'm sorry, putting their hands on a woman, right? Ezra Miller did that, and similarly, Jonathan Majors is accused of putting his hands on a woman, and Ezra Miller didn't really get arrested for anything until he was breaking into somebody's house, till they were breaking into somebody's house, basically.
yeah.
And but he, Jonathan Majors got arrested immediately, and now it's as if it's a foregone conclusion he's done. And what's the difference here? And don't tell me that race isn't part of it.
It's definitely a part of it.
Don't sit there and tell me that, because Ezra Miller's been around Hollywood for a while. True, I get that. But their being around Hollywood for a while shouldn't insulate them from their actions. But somehow no one's talking about the Flash movie not getting canceled. No one's talking about that. When it's not just that one incident. See, Jonathan Majors, yeah, it's bad, but it's one incident, right? And now suddenly people are coming out the woodwork talking shit about him. Ezra Miller is multiple incidents, multiple accusations of different things. Literally, they just took a probation for something, for that breaking into a house. They're still being accused of grooming some kid. They're still, the incidents, not just one, a couple incidents of physically attacking people. And no one's talking about cancellation or whatever. The most that's happening is that people are quietly just not talking about, just not talking about it, and quietly, not booking them for stuff or whatever. But no one's sitting up here trying to say, hey, we got to cancel the Flash. And it's curious that cancellation of Loki season 2 is on the table, but not the Flash. Now, obviously more money probably was spent on the Flash, but still $100 million is $100 million. And so I always want to ask, well, you're going to go see the Flash knowing what Ezra Miller was accused of, but you're not going to go watch Loki season 2 knowing what Jonathan Majors was accused of. Okay, cool. Explain what's the difference, and try to do it without making me feel like you are covering up for a glaring difference between the two people. I'm just saying. Look, if you got if anyone has a great explanation for why the two very similar situations are being treated very differently, and you can explain it to me and make it make sense, get at it. But right now, looks kind of racist. Just saying. So, all that being said, racist or not, Jonathan Majors is kind of in a spot right now, man. And we don't know anymore, except that people are starting to distance themselves from him. And this could be the start of, like I said, the excommunication process. So anyway, LADI, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll let you guys know more about what's going on and what we think. Moving on to unfortunate thing number 2. And this is actually some real nuts and bolts industry stuff that we're not going to go too deep into it, just because I don't think I want to get too into the weeds about it. But they're a Writers Guild of America. I think we talked about that a week or two ago. They have authorized their leadership to call for a strike if they can't buy. I think the contract with the Producers Guild expires on May 1st, and if they can't get their concerns dealt with, they are going to they are authorizing their leadership to call a strike. And LADI, we talked about this. I think not on this show, but we talked about this before the show, before we started this podcast, about right around before the start of the pandemic, when the writers almost did a strike, right? They almost did a strike, but they ended up getting everything together, and then with the Producers Guild, and that was a few years ago. So now the contract's up again, and the writers aren't happy, and they're not happy because you know, the landscape of TV and movie and TV, but really streaming has changed the game in a way that they feel does not fairly compensate them for the work that they do, and that there's some kind of producers are doing some little shenanigans to sort of get a lot of work for as little pay as possible, and not paying residuals properly, because streaming residuals and broadcast residuals are different. So essentially, as I've had it and seen it explained, writers are in general making less money now than they were 10 years ago, and it's pretty much due to streaming and the way things are set up. So, I mean, LADI, I'm pro union all day, every day, and so I'm with them, and I understand their issues, but I'm also down with the comic book stuff, and there's a ton of comic book stuff in the pipeline that has not been finished yet, that they're working on, that they're writing, and within a couple weeks there could be a strike, and they could put all of that to a stop. So, LADI, how concerned are you about this particular issue? And in your mind, how likely do you feel like it is that this strike is actually going to go down?
I remember we we've talked about this before, and how this this could affect TV in the very near future. And you know what? They're right, because it has changed. Things have Streaming has become a lot more demanding. There's a lot more writers that have to write more shows. I'm like, man, there's so many shows on these streaming networks now. It's ridiculous. And the demand to keep writing these shows, and then like you said, they're probably in their contract when they signed their contract, it was before the big boom of like streaming or anything like that. And now that streaming has become, as big as it is, they're like, you guys are not you get so this is how it is. You just got gonna give us residuals for this stuff. Okay. And
Or more to the point, shitty residuals,
yeah,
like for broadcast TV. Yeah,
yeah. And it's because let's be honest, some of these streaming shows do are some of them are more popular than broadcast TV. Some of them are more popular than that, and I'm sorry, because I'm a small business owner, but I am a business owner, so I can say this: don't treat your employees shitty, man. The number one way to destroy a company is treat your employees shitty. Because the more and more shitty you treat your employees, the more and more they will start telling people not to come there. And then you'll be left with people. The only people that you're getting are people that are either desperate, un- unqualified, or don't care. And I just say this, but just pay them, man. You're making millions of dollars. What's with breaking off a couple extra thousands? I mean, damn, man. These companies, when I just see how greedy they get, and then some people try to explain it to me. They're like, "Well, you gotta understand. Understand what? They're making millions upon millions of dollars. You telling me you can't break off 1% extra? God dang, man. You
yeah,
serious? Jeez.
yeah. And I mean, it's it's gotten pretty bad, because like it's not just residuals. It's also the pay structure is based on a TV model that doesn't really work the same like it does on network. There's plenty of network TV shows. I watch 20 something episode TV shows pretty regularly, but they're broadcast shows. Streamers, generally speaking, only make about 8, 10, maybe 13 episode seasons. So they're writing fewer episodes, right? So these writers have to have many jobs, but sometimes the jobs keep them occupied so that they can't work on another show, even though they're only producing 8 to 13 episodes. They still take the same amount of time maybe that working on a year long 22 episodes show So that cuts into their revenue, right? There's also the whole issue with, using Chat GPT or AI writing to, as part of the writing process, in a way to avoid having to pay paying writers to punch up a script or whatever that was made by AI. So there's a lot of issues going on, but as usual, it's just fucking money, it's about money. And me again, pro union all day every day, but I also feel like, hey, if you're making all this damn money off of these shows, that should be reflected in how you compensate the people who are writing on it. And residuals are a part of the game. They need to be updated to reflect the actual state of the industry, not the way the industry was 10 years ago. So I hope they get this together. The producers, I hate to say, you're gonna have to come up off of this, because no writers. If you have no writers, you have no shows. Because what the fuck, are the actors gonna somehow write the fucking show? No, they're not going to. If they could write, they'd be writers instead of actors, and some of them are, obviously. And what we're gonna end up with, if this happens, we're gonna have a lot of more of these reality show shit. So I hope they get their shit together. So we'll see. This strike vote is likely to come in the next couple weeks. So if it does happen, we're going to comment on it then. And let's just hope that they work it all out, because it would just having an interruption would just suck as a fan. So anyway, we'll let you guys know when we find out more. And finally, we're going to end this episode on a let's not say a positive note, but on a more positive note. How about that? Because we're gonna, LADI, I have a feeling we're just gonna dunk on shitty fans right now. We're gonna tell you why though. So the Marvels trailer came out. We talked about it last week. I really liked it a lot. I think, LADI, you liked it, but I think I liked it more than you liked it. I'm very excited for the Marvels, and I was glad to see it. But LADI, are you surprised at all to know that it's the most disliked Marvel, the MCU trailer, in history? Does that surprise you at all?
No. Actually, it because honestly, I have talked to some of my friends. They do not want to see this movie. I just, I don't know.
You need some better friends, dog.
I mean, men and women, they're not interested. I talked to them about it. Have you seen the Marvel trailer? And they're like, yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that one. I was like, okay.
You know what I hear when you say that? All the lies in the world. It's a Marvel thing. Y'all are gonna get to it. Trust. I don't believe people that when they say nah, skipping this. Okay, sure you are. Just like all of the Snyder fans skipped out on James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but somehow they knew enough about it to talk shit about it. But okay, let's just take that. But it's disliked. It's disliked more than any other Marvel trailer, and I will accept that there are some people legitimately are just I don't like the tone, not with the tone. I don't really care for this character. Cool. I get that. I do not believe that that all of those dislikes are because people just literally are just I don't really care for the tone for that, or I don't know these characters or whatever. It's not for me. I don't believe that. I'm more inclined to believe, just in the same way that when you look on IMDb and if you look up Captain Marvel, the first one, I don't know what its rating is, but I'm gonna bet it's somewhere around 6 or 5. I'm gonna put money on that that it's around there. So I'm checking right now, and let's just see where it landed. Oh, it's a 6.8. Surprise, right? the reason why I don't take it that it's all legit and some of it's just haters is because there's a literal fucking industry of on YouTube of people talking shit about Brie Larson and Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson in particular, and she is a star of this. So big fucking surprise, it gets disliked more than any other trailer. Now, keeping in mind, LADI, all of the trailer. Think of every trailer you've seen for a Marvel thing, right? At every single Marvel trailer. And I can think of at least a couple that aren't as good or not as good as the Captain Marvel of the Marvel's trailer. I can think of a couple that I'm just like, what? I don't know what's going on here, you know? So it seems to me that this is toxic fans being toxic fans. And it's kind of, why are we still doing this? Well, I mean, I know why the grifters are doing it. Why are other people still doing this? What, in your mind, why are they still up to this bullshit?
It's just, man, there's just a lot of people that don't like Brie Larson. Like, and it's not even just in the comic book industry. It's like other people. I don't know what it is about Brie Larson. People do not like. I know people who do not watch Marvel movies that do not like Brie Larson. Like I don't know what it is.
I
Like
want to know what their reasoning is.
I don't. It's just. It's like they don't. I don't know, man. I can't tell you what it is. I don't. And I remember when I started hearing about people not liking Brie Larson. I started trying to look into it. I'm like, did she say something that on Twitter or it's like it's one of those people that just people for some reason just don't like. It's like there's things like this I've seen in sports. There's just a player that he's done nothing wrong his entire career, but there are just fans that just hate him, and you just like, why do you hate him? I don't know. It's just I don't like him, and it's just like Brie Larson is just one of those people, and it's unfortunate. I remember I was watching a video talk about it, and like it was a guy he had people on both sides, he had the grifters, he had the people that were like super MCU fans, the people in the middle, and they were like people just saying they don't like Brie Larson. Some MCU fans, like super MCU fans, even said they don't like Brie Larson, and they're like. And the guy made a joke. He says, "What if Brie Larson was like the nicest human being ever, and you guys just hate her for some reason? I don't know it, bro. Like people."
Well, I think it's fair to say that some of it is misogyny. Some of it is, you know, some like if you see some of them, they like she hates men or whatever. It's a bunch of projection and bullshit like that. It's a bunch of, hating the progressive nature of the MCU, and she's just kind of a lightning rod for it. What I don't get is hating on the other two women who are in the movie. Iman Vellani, what on earth did she do to earn anyone's ire? But to my knowledge, she's just been a delightful version of Kamala Khan. But there's hating on her character too. Because
From what I've seen, I know there's weird people like that, but from what I've seen, it's sort of like from like the rational fans, like she's going to be the reason why they'll watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that really like her, like
right,
really really like her, and like I said, like she will be the reason why they'll go to the movie theater and watch it. It's I mean, man, I don't get it. I didn't see any problem with the movie, but I can understand why it's the most hated because there's a lot of people that don't like Brie Larson. I don't know what it is. I I don't know,
I
man.
wish
It's
I could
just
meet one of these people in real life because so far the only people I know that don't like her are online, and they've expounded pretty well on why they don't. A lot of their reasons are dumb. or a lot of their reasons are smoke screens for for the same reason when people were like, I just don't like woke things, and I'm like, just say you don't like black people and move on. Like, don't give me this buzzword that to cover up the fact that you're just a piece of crap. Like, just own it. And no one to no I've yet to hear anyone explain a good reason for dislike. Like, you can be like, oh, I don't like her acting. Cool. All right, I'm with that. You don't like her acting, but this constant hate campaign and then translating it into anything she ever does, even if it has no reflection on the other, like I said, Amon Vellani, what the fuck she got to do with that, right? Or Tiana Paris, what's she got to do with that? So you're gonna hate the whole thing because of whatever imaginary slight that Brie Larson has done to you. I mean, get out of here. Like, like I said, I want to meet one of these people. I don't even need to meet them in real life. I would be happy to talk to them online. You know, uh, on a show or anything. I'd love to, just to hear an actual case be made for why she sucks, and then I would love for them to explain why she didn't deserve her Academy Award too, because she's an Oscar winner. To tell me why she sucks at acting. Just give it to me. I would love to hear it. But so far, all I've ever seen is man babies crying about this shit online, and crying because I don't know, they feel emasculated by some woman who never fucking met them and just has said some things that are basically true. So I mean, anyway, the more you know how I feel for real though, Lottie, for real about all this. The more the hate just fuels me. All this hate just feel I'm more the more hate I see, the more excited I am to see this movie. Keep on hating, y'all. Just keep on all the hating. That's just fuel for my fire. That's all I say. So I don't think you feel the same way, but it gets me going. I'm standing. I already like y'all should know. I already stand Kamala Khan anyway. That's a given. I love Miss Marvel. I was already a fan of Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, and I'm pretty all right with Captain Marvel, but y'all making me. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm standing all three of them as a counterpoint to all the haters. So put me on record for that. So, Lottie, you don't have to do that though. Well, yeah, I'll go out on this limb on my own, and I'll take the saw with me. Anyway, I hate to say it, we're gonna keep an eye on this foolishness. We will report back on it as the closer we get. I guarantee the foolishness and the hate campaign is gonna ramp up, and we will talk about it some more then. So, anyway, that's all of our stuff for this week. It's quite a list, but maybe we missed something, or you heard something you agree with, disagree with, you have your own thoughts on it. Whatever it is, get down to the comment section and leave your thoughts down there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Helps with the channel so that more people join, and also more people see these videos. And also, I haven't been mentioning this before, but did you know that this podcast also comes in non-video form? You can get that on Spotify podcasts. Super Not Funny Show, same thing, the Supercast. So just check this out there. I'll put the link down in the description for the video. But it would be cool if more people check that out too. If you rather not be on YouTube listening to us. And of course, this show can't do this on my own. Lottie, as always, providing great insight on these topics. So Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Anu Kinihun. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN, and of course my YouTube channel, which is Kinihun 25. So the hater that I was telling you about.
Right.
This man commented on every single one of my videos on YouTube
What the?
and said how much he hates my content.
I, I, first of all, I can't wait till we get haters like that. That's dope. But the other thing is, do you know how much time that took? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Bruh, I
anything, if you don't like something, this is what I don't get about a fan community and whatever. If I don't like something, you know what I do? I click to something else. I'm like, this, okay, whatever, bye. I move on. Like, what's your life like that you are spending time doing that? Oh God, I can't be that. That's just, I don't got hater in my blood like that. It's a special kind of thing
It's a
that you got.
special kind. I gave him the heart, like the little heart,
Hmm.
like creator thing that you could give
Yeah.
them. I gave it to every single one of his comments. It's like he was trying to have a conversation with me. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, you can't block me here. Yeah, yeah." I'm just like, "What are
I
you
don't. He's like, I
doing?"
don't care. Just like
I'm like, "Thanks for the view, the comment, man." I mean,
a view is a view, motherfucker. It's engagement, baby. Every time you do that, that helps me out. I'm with it. So anyway. Oh man, the internet. Yeah, it's fun sometimes. So
yeah.
anyway, well, this has been episode 98 of the Supercast. We're quickly getting. I can't believe it. Almost at episode 100. So that's coming up in a few weeks. So stick around for that. But before then, we got the 99th episode coming up next week. Plenty more to talk about. Plenty more news. So come back and join us then. Until then, I've been Mo De Pape, your resident fabricant and commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.